Hey, Chicago. What do you say? Cubs gonna win today.
What do you say? What do you say? Shöta Imanaga introduced at Cubs convention Friday as the newest member of the Chicago Cubs, and it was great. That was a little clip of his press conference. He could not have spoken English any better. I loved it. Loved every minute of it. Great job by him. I may play another clip from the press conference, but thanks for hanging out with us here on the Cubs Baseball channel, guys. Make sure that you are part of what we do here. Like and subscribe. You can follow me at Broadcaster Mick on the socials. And don't forget that we're brought to you by the Tennessee Smokies Team Store with autographed memorabilia from guys like Pete Crow Armstrong and Owen Casey, some of the Cubs' top prospects, Cubs gear, Smokies gear, and they won their first championship in 45 seasons, and they've got the swag to show it, to prove it. You guys can check it out at their online store. All right. How cool was it to see Shöta Imanaga officially introduced as a member of the Chicago Cubs? And I thought that Jed Hoyer couldn't have orchestrated the event any better in front of all of our fans. And I thought that Imanaga did a fantastic job of going up and speaking a little bit of English. I want to play just the other part of the clip, but I had to start the show off with him saying, what do you say, Chicago? I love that. I say it every day. I didn't, I love Steve Goodman's song as well. So that's not why I say it, but I do love it. All right, well, let me put him back up, and then let's talk about Imanaga and what the Cubs are going to do after this deal. I'm going to stay up here with him this time. But, how cool was that? He did a great job of getting everybody excited about the future and, what the Cubs are moving forward in.
Nice to meet you. I'm Shöta Imanaga. I played Yokohama DNA Baystars 8 years. I'm very happy to be here and be a Cub. I want to say thank you to entire Cubs organization for having me, and I'm very excited to pitch at Wrigley Field. I'm looking forward to meeting fans and teammates. Go Cubs, go!
Fantastic, and really cool seeing Imanaga up there on stage. I'll tell you what I really liked about his press conference, guys, is one of the things that he said in here was that he's here to help the Cubs win a World Series. The other thing is he wanted to be a Cub. He had been kicking it around in Chicago and was there before. His agency their office is located on Michigan Avenue, that represent him. And he said that at first the Cubs weren't really pursuing him. And then they got in the mix and he was glad. And what's really amazing to me in this day and age is that Imanaga took less money or guaranteed money because he wanted to be a Cub. Kind of a little bit along the same lines as Andre Dawson. It's not the blank check, but at the same time, players in our country hardly ever take less money. They don't do the team deal. Now, he can earn $80 million. And I think that was the extent of what the other teams reportedly were offering. But at least one of those teams, according to reports, was willing to guarantee all $80 million. Now, the Cubs will give him $80 million. He's getting a guarantee of $53 million, but then he's got to, obviously collect on those options to, to make the $80 million. But he really wanted to wear that uniform that he's wearing on stage there and be a member of the Chicago Cubs. It was a fantastic press conference, and it really is exciting to know that Imanaga is part of this organization. And again, we kind of talked about him and hit on it again. The Cubs owe the Bay Stars almost $10 million. And then if he hits the option, they owe him some more. I think it's like 15% or something. He pitched 8 years in Japan, and as a member of the Yokohama DNA Bay Stars, he had a 3.18 ERA, a 64-50 record, and he was known as the pitching philosopher, which means that he's kind of like their version of maybe what we call the professor, which, by the way, is on his team and his teammate, and that would be Kyle Hendricks. Now, what was also interesting about this is he said that he didn't talk to Seiya Suzuki, which surprised me, but he knew him from Japan, and he said that Seiya was very excited when he called and told him that he was going to be a member of the Cubs, so they're going to be teammates. But he did not talk to him, which I figured that would be part of this. He knew that he wanted to play at Wrigley Field, and he just mentioned it there in his opening statement. I can't imagine going to Japan and having an opening statement in Japanese and getting it, and getting it. I mean, is it perfect English? No. But for a guy that speaks Japanese, I give him an A+. I thought that he said the right things. And then throughout the press conference, he just reiterated what a team player he was, how he felt like the Cubs were the right organization with him. He said that Jed Hoyer and Carter Hawkins were able to connect with him in a way where he felt like he was going to improve as a pitcher. He wanted the challenge of facing the best in the world in Major League Baseball, and he's going to get that opportunity. And he said, I can't wait to pitch at Wrigley Field. So exciting to have him on board officially. All right, so as we move on now from Imanaga and we start to look at the future, the Cubs are still busy in this marketplace, and they were predicted by Bob Nightingale to be the most active team over the next 5 weeks, which I'm going to cut that down to the next 4 weeks. And at the top of the list is Cody Bellinger. Still not a whole lot coming out. You know how Scott Boras works, kind of laying in the weeds. The market definitely has started to benefit the Cubs. And you got to give Jed Hoyer a lot of credit for being patient, because it paid off in this negotiation. This is a fantastic deal when you can get, 4 years at $53 million and have some, some money that's not guaranteed, but is incentive and option based. It gives you some protection, and his patience, and obviously Imanaga's wanting to play for the Cubs has certainly, played in and helped out. Now, Bellinger's at the top of the list. I still think that the Cubs are going to get there. We'll keep on watching the rest of the market because, there's been some small moves. Jordan Hicks to the Giants, obviously a flame-throwing reliever. You know him from his time with the Cardinals. Some of you guys have mentioned that you wouldn't have mind having him with the Cubs. Well, he's off the board. It looks like Marcus Stroman is going to sign with the Yankees. It's like a 2-year deal with another option. And, and in a way, the deal that he had with the Cubs was a pretty good deal, looking at the deal that is reportedly being worked out with the Yankees. But that's here nor there, because after he opted out, I don't think there was really any intention for the Cubs to entertain bringing him back. Now, I'm wondering this, and I think this is a fair question. Jim Bowden, the MLB Network insider, said that the Cubs had made significant offers to Bellinger, Rhys Hoskins, Matt Chapman, Jordan Hit, and Jordan Montgomery. Now, the Cubs made the trade for Michael Busch, a top prospect. Obviously hasn't had the success in the big leagues, but a player that has a ton of potential. And we've talked about that, and we put a video out on that as well. It's going to be really interesting to see how Craig Counsell is able to help develop some of these talented guys like Busch and Mervis and Pete Crow Armstrong and Alexander Canario and eventually Owen Casey. I mean, you got a lot of guys coming at that big league spot, because the days of guys going from AAA to the big leagues, especially position players, ready to step in and be stars, is over. It's going to take a transition period just because the level of competition has shrunk so much in AAA, AA, and down the minor leagues. You just don't have as many of the veteran major leaguers that are paid to be kind of, taxi squad guys and have been around the game forever there. So it's just a younger game. But with that said, there's a lot of talent now. I wonder how that affects Matt Chapman. Do the Cubs feel like they can count on Michael Busch? Would they pull that off the table? And same thing with Jordan Montgomery. Are they just got another lefty? Are they set now with a rotation, or is there still room to add one more? And that's up to debate. I feel like you can always use an extra starter. And I don't look at 5 guys and say, hey, we're stopped there. I think, like I've said this over and over again, Theo Epstein used to talk about having 8 guys, and I think that is a really good plan. And if you had 9, that's not a bad idea either. So we'll keep an eye on that. But I feel like maybe the next thing to happen would be if they could get something worked out with Cody Bellinger. That would really set everything else up going into spring training. If you're at Cubs convention, hey, have a great time. Stay inside, because I know it's freezing cold, but it's been an exciting week, and we've mentioned that quite a few times here on the Cubs baseball channel. So really cool press conference today with Shöta Imanaga giving us a little "Go Cubs Go" from the stage. All right, guys, get in the comments section. Let me know what you think. What's the next move the Cubs are going to make? And we'll kind of debate that there. And I'll talk to you tomorrow unless something else breaks. Thanks for hanging out here on the Cubs baseball channel. Go Cubs.